Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's October 2025, and for years we've been promised a future filled with cars that drive themselves. We imagined hopping in, saying, "Take me to work," and then just kicking back with a coffee and a movie. But as we look around today, most of us are still gripping the steering wheel. So what's the deal? Is the driverless dream just a fantasy, or are we on the cusp of a revolution? Let's do a reality check. Right now, the roads are mostly populated with what we call Level 2 or Level 3 autonomous systems. Think Tesla's Autopilot or GM's Super Cruise. These are advanced driver assistance systems. They can handle steering, accelerating, and braking in certain conditions, usually on the highway. But they absolutely require you, the driver, to be paying attention and ready to take over at a moment's notice. They are not self-driving in the way we imagine. So, where are the true driverless cars? They do exist, but in very specific, controlled environments. We're seeing Level 4 robotaxi services, like those from Waymo and Cruise, operating in select parts of cities like San Francisco and Phoenix. These cars have no driver and can handle most situations within their designated operational area. We're also seeing limited deployments in the trucking industry, with autonomous trucks hauling goods on specific, pre-mapped highway routes. But for the average person, buying a car that can drive itself anywhere, anytime, we're not there yet. So why the delay? What's stopping us from having these cars in every driveway? The roadblocks are significant, and they fall into three main categories: technical, regulatory, and social. First, the tech. The final 1% of the driving problem is turning out to be 99% of the work. Autonomous systems are fantastic in predictable scenarios, but the real world is messy. Think about a construction zone with a police officer manually directing traffic, a flock of birds suddenly taking flight in front of the car, or a child's ball bouncing into the street from behind a parked van. These are edge cases, and they are incredibly difficult for an AI to interpret and react to safely. Then there's the weather. Heavy rain, snow, or fog can blind the sensors, the cameras, LiDAR, and radar that these cars use to see the world. If the car can't see, it can't drive. Engineers are working on better sensors and software to overcome this, but it remains a massive challenge to ensure reliability in all conditions. Next up is the regulatory labyrinth. In the United States, for example, there's no single federal framework for autonomous vehicles. It's a chaotic patchwork of state laws. What's legal in California might be illegal in Nevada. This makes it a nightmare for manufacturers to develop and deploy cars on a national scale. And then there's the billion-dollar question. In the event of a crash, who's at fault? The owner? The manufacturer? The software developer? Until these liability issues are sorted out in the courts and by lawmakers, progress will be slow. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, there's public perception and trust. For this technology to succeed, people need to feel safe in it. High-profile accidents, even if statistically rare, create headlines and fuel public anxiety. There's a deep psychological barrier to giving up control. We've been driving for over a century. Trusting a machine with our lives and the lives of our loved ones is a huge leap of faith that will take time, education, and a proven track record of safety. But despite these hurdles, the push for autonomy is creating a massive economic and societal shift. Let's talk about jobs. The first thought for many is job displacement, particularly for the millions of people who drive for a living: truckers, taxi drivers, and delivery workers. This is a legitimate concern that we must address as a society, likely through retraining programs and a focus on new roles. Because on the flip side, this revolution will create entirely new jobs. We'll need remote fleet managers, AI safety engineers, in-car experience designers, and specialized maintenance technicians. The entire logistics industry is being reimagined. Imagine a future where long-haul trucking is done by autonomous vehicles overnight, with human drivers handling the complex last mile of delivery within cities. The very fabric of our cities will change. Today, a huge percentage of urban real estate is dedicated to parking. What happens when cars can drop you off and then go park themselves in a central depot, or simply move on to the next passenger? We could reclaim that space for parks, housing, and pedestrian zones. Traffic flow could be optimized with vehicles communicating with each other, reducing congestion and commute times. And one of the most exciting prospects is accessibility. For the elderly, people with disabilities, and others who are unable to drive, autonomous vehicles represent a new era of freedom and independence, connecting them to their communities, healthcare, and jobs like never before. So, the big question remains: when? When will we see widespread adoption of truly driverless Level 4 and Level 5 cars? Most experts agree it's a matter of when, not if, but the timelines vary. We'll likely see it happen sector by sector. Autonomous trucking and last-mile delivery services on highways are poised to take off first, maybe within the next 5 to 10 years. Widespread robotaxi services in most major cities could follow, but a personal car that can handle a snowy mountain road and a chaotic city center. That Level 5 dream is likely still decades away for the mass market. The key to unlocking this future lies in a few emerging technologies. AI is advancing at an exponential rate, making systems better at handling those tricky edge cases. V2X, or Vehicle-to-Everything Communication, will allow cars to talk to each other, to traffic lights, and to road infrastructure, creating a collective awareness that will dramatically improve safety and efficiency. And our digital maps are becoming incredibly detailed and dynamic, providing a critical layer of information for the car's AI. This isn't just about the cars though. The cities themselves need to get smarter. The rollout of 5G and future networks, along with smart infrastructure, will be crucial accelerators for this technology. Let's imagine what this future commute might look like. You might not even own a car. Instead, you could subscribe to a mobility service. You detend to use an app to summon an autonomous vehicle tailored to your needs. A quiet pod for your morning commute. A larger vehicle for a family outing. Your commute time is no longer wasted time. It's your time. You could work, watch a movie, take a nap, or have a video call with family. The stress of traffic and the hunt for parking would be a thing of the past. The interior of the car would become a third living space. The possibilities are truly exciting, from dramatically reducing traffic fatalities to giving us back our most precious resource, time. But as we race toward this future, we have to be thoughtful. We need to manage the transition for workers, ensure equitable access for everyone, and build robust security to protect these connected systems from cyber threats. The driverless dream is coming into focus not as a sudden leap, but as a gradual, complex, and ultimately transformative journey. What are your thoughts on a driverless future? Are you excited or a little nervous? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this interesting, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the tech that is shaping our world. See you in the next one.